You put a gun to somebody's head. We're lucky you haven't killed somebody because that's the path you're on.
He pulls a gun on a 14-year-old kid and steals not only that kid's dirt bike, but also a small amount of cash from that 14-year-old. The PSI indicates that 14-year-old is so traumatized by this that he can't even attend public school anymore, Judge. When he was apprehended with that stolen dirt bike, there was a vehicle associated with this defendant, and in that vehicle were other subjects who had 4 firearms in that vehicle, Judge. And as if that was not bad enough, he goes on to brag about this criminal activity on social media. And if that wasn't bad enough, Judge, he goes on to taunt the victim of the UUMV on social media as well. Judge, he is youthful, I'll acknowledge that. He does not have any adult criminal history, Your Honor, I will acknowledge that. But, Your Honor, what he has engaged in is beyond the pale. He needs prison time, in my opinion, Your Honor, and that's what we're asking this court to do. If somehow, in any way,
right out of the gate, this is not a minor mistake, this is a trajectory warning. The judge is basically saying you're not being punished just for what you did but for where this behavior is clearly heading, and that's a powerful legal mindset. Courts often look at patterns, not just isolated acts.
They perform, courts considering community supervision. We'd ask for shock probation, some prison time up front, and then shock him out on community supervision. Judge, again, this is just beyond the pale. And I think the PSI speaks for itself. Thanks, Judge.
Mr. Chopin, these cases for me with kids your age are so hard. And I have for a very long time tried very hard to give chances. But all of the guns and the riding around and so you're January 2019, you're put on January of 2019. You are put on probation, juvenile probation.
This is where the case shifts from crime to impact. A 14-year-old victim now too traumatized to attend school. That's huge, and court judges take psychological harm very seriously, sometimes even more than financial loss. Question for you: should emotional damage weigh heavier in sentencing than the actual stolen property?
You violated it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On your 7th time to violate, they finally sent you to TJJD, right? 7 times you were given an opportunity. You go to TJJD, obviously you're not there very long because you get out, and then in December of 2022, you commit an unlawful carrying a weapon, evading arrest or detention, and you're again put on probation. You're given another opportunity in January of 2023. So in this year, you were put on probation for a gun case and an evading case. While you're on that probation, after you've been to TJJD, you commit these 3 offenses while you're on probation. So none of it makes sense that I want to do better. And I mean, all this riding around with guns and masks and stealing, and it's just crazy.
And this is where defendants hurt themselves the most. Social media bragging is basically self-incrimination with an audience. Not only does it show lack of remorse, it actually strengthens the prosecution's argument for a harsher sentence. In simple terms, she didn't just commit the crime, he advertised it.
It's just crazy. Go have a seat in the jury box. I gotta think about this one some more for a minute. So what I've done, in addition to obviously just thinking about it and looking at all of this a little bit more, is ask and get any incident reports that you've had since you've been in custody. And Mr. Chopin, I appreciate Mr. Lewis and what he's done and the arguments he's made for you. And like I said before, it really kills me to what I feel like I have to do to you young people. But we are in Jefferson County tired of young people running around here with guns. You put a gun to somebody's head. We're lucky you haven't killed somebody because that's the path you're on. You've had opportunities at probation, and unfortunately, those haven't worked. You've actually already had 2. You were sent to TJJD, you got out, you still committed offenses, and then you got probation again, and then you're here. So all this talk of I want to do right and I'm going to do better is just a bunch of baloney. The way you can't follow the rules in jail shows me same pattern. You can't follow the rules. So at this time, in clause number 23 DCCR 0993, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty.
Hey race, the emotional turning point the judge is revealing internal conflict. Justice versus mercy. Courts often try rehabilitation first, especially for young offenders, but when second chances turn into repeated violations, patience runs out. You can almost hear the frustration building.
At this time, find you guilty of unauthorized use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In clause number, and these were all just open. So in clause number 23, DCCR 0991, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle.
This is the credibility problem in courts. Saying I want to do better means nothing without behavior to back it up. Judges look at actions over words every single time, and in this case the record is stacked against him. Probation violations, repeated offenses, escalation. The system gave chances, but they weren't taken.
Sentence you to a term of 10 years in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In clause number 23, DCCR 0992, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated robbery. Sentence you to a term of 25 years.
And there it is, the hammer drops. 25 years. This isn't just punishment, it's a message. Crimes involving firearms, especially against minors, are treated at the highest level of severity. The deadly weapon finding makes it even more serious, affecting parole chances. Final question for you: honest, was this sentence justified or too harsh for someone so young?